ददति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातान् सगुणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगुणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, all the kids, Naimisha, Atish, Gauranga, Sandhya, and Vihan, right? Welcome all of you to the series. Okay. So now, what do you all know about Gauranga or Gaura Katha? Have you ever heard about Gauranga?
No, Mataji.
Is it your first time? All of you can unmute and speak freely, and the parents can also participate. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now, honestly, we're going to start this session because Gauranga is a very, very special person. Okay, Gauranga is none other than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so with the blessings of Guru and Gauranga, we will start our Gaura Katha. Okay, so this Gaura Katha is going to go on for 4 days, including today. Okay, so today is day 1, and we will have this Gaura Katha going till Thursday. Okay, and this in this series, we will be discussing the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his childhood pastimes, and then how he came into sannyasi and everything, sannyasam and everything. Okay, so let us start the story.
Yes, Mataji.
Very good. Okay, so all of you should pay attention because there are a lot of names and some dates here and there. So we will be having few quiz questions here and there. Okay, so we have to answer that also. Okay, so have a notebook if possible and note down everything. Okay, so let us start the story. So now what happens in Bhagavad Gita, all of us know, right? What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? He says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat adbhutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrujamahi. He says whenever there's a decline in religion and when there's irreligion increasing, I will take my birth again, right? This is what Krishna says, right? Yeah. Now what happens is, after Krishna has disappeared and he's gone back to Goloka Vrindavan, okay, there comes a time where everyone in earth will also slowly, the devotion will start decreasing. Okay, a lot of time will pass and the practice of pure devotional service keeps decreasing day by day, and the faith towards God will also start decreasing. Okay, because all the Yuga Dharma changed, right? And this is the starting of Kali Yuga. So now what happens, seeing all this, Advaita Acharya, okay, there was this great Acharya who's called Advaita Acharya. So what he does is, he sees all this situation and he starts getting really, really worried. Okay, so what he starts doing is, he starts worshipping Shaligram Shila. Okay, do you all know what Shaligram is? Do you know how it looks like?
Yeah, it looks like a stone.
It looks like a stone.
Black stone.
And correct. And what is inside the Shaligram Shila?
It looks like a black stone.
Correct. Yeah. So inside the Shaligrama Shila, we can see the whole Garbhodakshay Vishnu lying, or Mahavishnu lying in it. Okay. So you can see in this picture, right? Now what happens? The Advaita Acharya actually starts worshipping Shaligram Shila. Okay. And he worships Shaligram with Tulasi and Ganga water. Okay. So now what happens is, when he's worshipping, he starts crying. Okay. He starts pleading to the God, like all the people around us, have become like this, and the faith, all the people are losing faith, So what are we supposed to do? I want to deliver all the people around me, and I also want to get delivered myself. Okay. So please, Lord, Sri Hari, Sri Krishna, please, give some solution. Now, before we get into the story, okay, after the prayers, we'll know who is Advaita Acharya. Does anyone know who Advaita Acharya is? Any guesses? Who he might be? Okay, let me ask you, what sampradaya do we all come from?
Gaudiya.
Gaudiya, good. So where does it start? Gaudiya sampradaya starts from?
Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Ma.
Yeah, so we start from Brahma. So we are called as Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay. So Brahma, we get all the knowledge from Brahma, and it was given by Madhvacharya. Okay. We come under the lenience of Brahma, Gaudiya, Madhva. Okay. Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay. So now Advaita Acharya was the actually pioneer of this Gaudiya Vaishnava, Acharya, and he wrote so many books and everything. And not only that, he was also an incarnation of Mahavishnu. Who is Mahavishnu? We have discussed in our Bhagavatam class. Who is Mahavishnu? There are three types.
An expansion of Lord Sri Krishna.
Yes, he's an expansion of Lord Sri Krishna. Very good. And Mahavishnu has another name. What is it?
Karnodak Sai Vishnu.
Very good, Naimisha. So he is Karnadak Sai Vishnu. So Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of this Mahavishnu. Okay. So now what happens is he contributed so much. Okay. He taught people how to perform bhakti, the importance of bhakti. And Kali Yuga Yuga Dharma is to chant, right? Chant the holy names. He also told everyone how the holy names is important. But still, there are a lot of people who were like atheistic in nature and who didn't believe God. So he was pleading for help to Shaligram, okay, basically to Lord Sri Krishna. And what happens not so long after, his wish actually gets granted. Okay, now we'll go to the second part of the story. Now, in this part of the story, we'll be discussing about the parents of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Did anyone hear about the parents of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or their names? Do you have any idea?
Sachi Mata.
Very good. Okay. So Sachi Mata is the mother. What about the father? The father was called Jagannath Mishra. Okay. Pundit Jagannath Mishra. Okay. So they were the parents of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll discuss a bit before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth. Now what happens is Pundit Jagannath Mishra, who is the father of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was actually settled in Navadvip Dham. Okay. Do you all know what is Navadvip Dham? Like right now, it is called as something else, Navadvip. It is called as Mayapur. Okay. So it is situated in West Bengal near the Ganges. Okay. So now what happens? Jagannath Mishra came from a Brahmin family. Okay. Whereas Sachi Devi, his wife, was the daughter of a great scholar. Okay. And the scholar's name was Chakravarti. Okay. Nilambar Chakravarti was the scholar's name. So in the year 1985, which year?
1985.
Good. Yeah, 1985. What happened was a small miracle happened to this, wonderful and very religious couple. What happened is Lord Sri Krishna entered the heart of Jagannath Mishra. Okay. Why did he enter? Is because now his time, Advaita Acharya had prayed, right? So to fulfill the prayers of his devotee, he had come, okay, and he had come into the heart of Jagannath Mishra. Now what happens? All wonderful things start happening, around them. Like example, Sachi Devi, as she was, getting pregnant, she looks more effulgent. Okay. And all people who see them, they offer respects, they offer a lot of food and all the riches, even without them asking. And even Sachi Devi sees all the devatas from the sky coming and blessing. And even, Jagannath Mishra will actually have a dream, okay, of Lord Vishnu entering into his heart. Does this sound very similar, right? We have heard this kind of symptoms before, right? Who was it with? The same symptoms happened to someone else also.
Devaki Vasudev.
Very good. Devaki and Vasudev. Okay, now what happened to Devaki and Vasudev? The same thing. When Devaki was pregnant, she had this beautiful effulgence in her face, right? The whole, the prison was actually lighted. She was glowing so much. And also we saw the demigods coming and, praying and offering their obeisances, to Krishna before he was born. So similar things, and also Krishna entered, Vasudev's heart. And through Vasudev's heart, he came into Devaki's heart, right? So similarly, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu case also, Lord Krishna entered into the heart of Jagannath Mishra. And from his heart, he entered Sachi Devi's heart. Now what happens? Okay, after 13 months, okay, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in the womb of Sachi Devi for how many months? 13 months. Okay, 13 months he was in the womb. Okay, and then what happens on February 18th, 1986, the Lord was born. Okay, and we don't say they are born because Lord, they're never born. Okay, they just appear and they disappear. Okay, so when we say, we don't say they are born, we say that they appear. Okay, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had appeared. And how did he appear? How did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu look? What was the color of his skin?
Golden.
Golden, yeah. He had a molten golden, color, and he was so effulgent. His effulgence lit the whole place. Okay, and actually, when everyone came there to gather and offered their prayers and blessed the child, they told that except for the color, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is gold and Krishna is blue. Apart from this, the child exactly looks like Lord Krishna, as if like he had come from Goloka, exactly like Lord Krishna. And then what happens is the second part of the story starts. Okay, now what happens now? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually not named Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, what was his name? Does anyone know? Before
Nimai.
he was called Nimai. Nimai was a nickname. Okay, he had a full name. Vishambar. Okay, he was called Vishambar. So he was the 10th child of who?
Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi.
Yeah, correct. Of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi, he was the 10th child. Okay. So now what happens is, what happened to the previous child, right? We have a doubt. So now what happens is the first 8 childs born of Sachi Devi were actually daughters. Okay. And all the daughters had passed away as soon as, she gave birth. And what happened? The 9th child was actually a son and his name was Vishwarupa. Okay. And Vishwarupa at the age of 16, when he was forced into marriage, he couldn't accept this whole concept of marriage in the material world. Hence he took up like sannyasam, and he went down to south and stayed in a Montessori. Now what happened? The 10th child was actually born and he was so effulgent, right? And what was his name?
Vishambar.
Okay, now Sachi Devi was actually very sad, okay, because she had lost 8 kids and 9th kid had also taken up sannyasi and he is left home. Now she is very sad. Okay, that's why she named him a very bitter name. Okay, like Naimisha told, his name was Nimai. Okay, why? What is the meaning of Nimai? Nimai means neem tree. Okay, it's a short form of neem tree. Neem tree protects us, right, from all the bad stuff like mosquitoes and everything, right? So she named him Nimai. Okay, so because she was feeling very protective and she didn't want him to be snatched away from her, like how her 8 daughters were and how her son left her. Okay, so she was very protective and very loving towards Nimai. And not only that, when Nimai was growing up, by seeing all his activities, people around him started giving him nicknames, like how? Like Gaura. Okay, and we have Gaura Hari and Gauranga. Okay, so what does Gaura mean? Gaura means a person with fair and effulgent complexion. Okay, but what about Gaura Hari? He used to be such a great devotee of Lord Hari. Who is Hari?
Krishna.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so he was such a great devotee of Lord Krishna, so they named him Gaura Hari. And later on, they started calling him Gauranga. Okay, because Gauranga is a person. Gaura means fair. Okay, Anga means body. Okay, the person with a very fair body. Okay, so Nimai was also called as what? 3 names. What were they?
Gaura, Gaurahari and Gauranga.
Very good. Okay, so this was the early pastime. Okay, when he was born and everything. Now when he started growing up, okay, and when he started to kind of walk, okay, what happened one evening when Sachi Devi was feeding, okay, Gauranga, what happened was she started seeing some kind of marks on Gauranga's feet, on the backside of the feet, on the sole. And these markings were just like the markings that appeared on Lord Krishna's feet or Lord Vishnu's feet. And what were the markings? So in the feet, okay, there was a mark of a flag, a thunderbolt, a conch shell, a chakra, and fish. So how many were there? 5. What was it? First one is flag, thunderbolt, conch shell, chakra, and fish. Very good. Okay, 5 we have to remember. Okay, these were the markings on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's soul, okay, on feet. By seeing this, okay, Jagannath Mishra was like, this is not like normal, right? Example, we don't have markings under our feet, right? So this is something very special. Okay, so we have to call someone. And who did he call? He called the famous astrologer Nilambar Chakravarti, who was the father of
Sachi Devi.
Sachi Devi, correct. Now, when he came to the house, okay, he was like, this person is not any ordinary person. In his previous life, he took birth as the son of Devaki and Vasudev, and all auspiciousness will happen to him. And he also kind of predicted that he will become a sannyasi in the future, but it is not explained directly. Okay, and all of the stories we are listening right now is from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavatam. From which books? Two books.
Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavata.
Very good. Okay. So now, after seeing this auspicious footprints, their thing became double confirmed. Okay. Now everyone knew that he was very effulgent and he was not ordinary. Now they saw this auspicious foot signs. Now they're like small mini stories. Okay, from the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. We'll see the next story. This is a story about two thieves. Okay. So one day, two thieves come to the house of Jagannath Mishra, and they see the baby. Okay, they see Mahaprabhu crawling and coming out of the door. What they seek this opportunity, and they kind of take the baby, and they put the baby on the shoulder, and they start leaving, and they start running at like a really fast pace. Now what happens? 1 hour passes, but still they're running and running and running. Now they kind of paused for a second, okay, to like take a break. But what happens is, wherever they started, they again came back to the same place. And both of the thieves started wondering, now what is happening? Because this is a miracle. Either I am dreaming or we just didn't run. Now what happens? They realize that this is this child is not an ordinary child. Okay, he is a very special child, and the thieves will realize, and they will put the baby to the right place. So all of this is actually the mystic power of Lord. Okay, because he is Krishna himself, right? So he's Krishna himself, but he has the bhava of Radharani. So he's very merciful. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took this avatara. You know why? Because so far he was like the god, right? But this time he wanted to give the ruchi of being a devotee. Okay, he wanted to show people that this is how you render devotional service onto God. Okay, this is how you do it. So the main purpose of the avatar of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that to show that this is the bhava of a devotee, how to perform devotional service, and also to do what? He did a very huge movement. What was it? Sankirtan, right? Sankirtan movement. Chanting the glories of the holy name. Okay. Now what happens? There's another story about a golden coin, right? Now, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a very young boy, okay, he used to get angry, when he was not fed on time and everything. Okay. So when this was happening, sorry, someone's mic is okay. So when he was child, he used to get angry when he was not fed on time or when people didn't pay attention to him. So now what happens is he gets very angry, and every time he gets angry, he starts, throwing all the pots, the clay pots and all the food grains all over the house. Okay. And he used to pound his hand on the ground and used to cry. And while he was crying itself, he used to fall asleep. Okay. Now what happens? Sachi Devi, when she comes, after she finishes all her work, she sees the whole house is scattered, all the food grains are around, all the mud pots are broken, and she starts feeling sad. Okay. Because as we know, right, Jagannath Mishra is not so rich. Okay, he's just a normal Brahmana. So they didn't have so much money where she can actually restock everything. Now what happens? Gauranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's there and he's listening to all this. So what he does, he's very small, okay, but still he walks. He goes to the bank of the Ganges and he collects some mud in his hand, okay, and he keeps the mud tight and he starts coming to the house. As soon as he comes to the house, he opens his hand and he gives the mud to his mother. And he says, now you can purchase a new stuff. Well, the mother was about to laugh. Okay, what happens? The whole mud turns into golden coins, right? Now, where did we see a similar Leela like this? Did we hear something similar like this before? We did,
Krishna
right?
giving fruits.
Yeah, correct. So
The fruit vendor and Krishna.
the fruit vendor and Krishna. So what happened in that story? Do you all know what happened?
He gave fruits and gave gold.
Correct. So in olden days, there was a system of barter system. Okay. For example, if example, I'm a farmer and I have rice and the other person has wheat, we exchange it. Okay. So there was no money involved. So in this way, what happened was Krishna took some grains and he started running from his house outside when he saw the fruit seller selling mangoes. Okay. So he came and he gave the grains, but the grains were so little. Like he started carrying with 2 hands, but ended up only having a fist of grains. But still, the lady with a big heart, she took the grains, okay, and she gave him fruits, handful of fruits. And then what happened? As soon as she turned and looked into her basket, the basket was filled with gold. Okay, so we see the very similar pastimes in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's when he was also like a very small kid. Okay, now we have another story also. Now this is a bit of boyhood. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enters boyhood, he was around the age of 11. Okay, and he had mastered all departments of Vedic knowledge, and he was very, very knowledgeable. Okay, and he defeated the greatest scholar of which place was he living in? Navadvip, right? Navadvip in present is known as
Mayapur.
Mayapur. Good.
Mayapur.
Okay. And all the scholars, normally when someone is getting defeated, they actually feel jealousy. But over here, all the scholars were actually happy because they were so proud of, Gauranga, because they saw Gauranga, grow up in front of them. So they're very, very proud. And he was named as the boy genius of Nadia. So Navadvip is also called as Nadia. Okay. And what happens one day, to test his knowledge, okay, there's this one person comes. His name is Keshava Pandit. So Keshava Pandit is a very, very knowledgeable scholar, okay, and he comes from Kashi. So he is in a search of defeating all the scholars in terms of wisdom. Now what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets who? Keshava Pandit. Okay, he meets Keshava Pandit on the banks of Ganges. Okay, and over there he will ask, Pandit, who Keshava Pandit, that can you recite few Sanskrit verses praising the glories of Ganga Devi? Now, what does Pandit do? He actually composes 100 verses, okay, praising Ganga Devi on the spot. But what happens is after completing the recitation, after completing like this recitation, Mahaprabhu, what happens? He starts pointing out several faults in the poetry that had been, recited by Keshava Pandit. And this process, what happens? Keshava Pandit feels very dumb and he feels like, all his intelligence is lost. Okay. But what happens at that night when Keshava Pandit was sleeping, he had a dream. Okay. And in his dream, Goddess Saraswati had appeared and she told him that you don't have to feel like, dumb or less intelligent, because the person who you actually, got commented was Lord Krishna himself. Okay. Because he is all knowledgeable, right? Krishna has how many opulences?
6.
Naimisha, can you name or anyone can name the 6 opulences? Okay, first we know now all knowledge, right? All beauty and all wealth, all strength, all renunciation, and all fame. Yeah, so he had all the 6 opulences, right? So similarly over here, okay, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has, because he is Krishna himself, right? So he is all knowledgeable. There's no way that anyone can compete with him in terms of knowledge. So Keshava Pandit accepts all this and he feels so honored that he has come into the association of Lord Sri Krishna. And what does he do? He becomes a follower and disciple of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, a small tragic incident happens in Gauranga's life. Okay, what happens is, while Gauranga was still studying, okay, and he was pursuing his thing, his father dies. Who was his father? What is the name of Gauranga's father?
Jagannath Mishra.
Correct. So he passes away. Okay. Now, what happens? Now, the family responsibility has come to him, and he's also of a certain age. So now Gauranga gets married to Lakshmi. Okay, Lakshmi was the daughter of Vallabhacharya. She was the daughter of
Vallabhacharya.
Yeah, correct. Okay, and Lakshmi was the first wife of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still a student and he's studying. Okay, so he's supposed to travel to few places to acquire more knowledge. So he starts traveling to East Bengal and he starts, learning from great scholars. And as he's such a very sweet, peaceful, and very knowledgeable guy, everyone starts praising him so much. But what happens? He kind of comes from this trip and he returns home. And when he comes home, he hears that his wife had died of a snake bite. Okay. So in olden days, they used to have multiple wives. So what happened as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very young at this point. So they got him married again. Okay. And he was remarried to Vishnupriya. Okay. What was the name?
Vishnupriya.
Correct. Vishnupriya. Okay. So now what happens? He still starts and he still continues his preaching, okay, and he goes to different places and he starts preaching different concepts and everything to everyone, okay. Now what happens? One day, he whenever he gathers, he used to bring thousands and hundreds of devotees to come and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together, okay. So in this process, what happens is one day all were sitting and they were chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this process, what happened when he was chanting was Lord Chaitanya Prabhu asks all of the devotees, what do you want to eat? Because now, we finished the preaching moment and everything. Now, what do you want to eat? So everyone will be like, my favorite, thing to eat is actually mango. But now what happens is it is not the season of mango. Okay, it was like like kind of rainy, kind of winter season, and the mangoes will not do. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already asked, right, his devotees what they want to eat. Now all of them, he didn't want to like make everyone sad. So he asked one of his devotees to go and to pick up a dry mango seed. Okay, so the person, he goes and he picks up a dry mango seed, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes the mango seeds and he seeds and just puts them on the ground. Okay. So as soon as he does this, he starts asking everyone to start singing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Okay, and everyone will start dancing and singing, and the seeds immediately they start sprouting. Immediately they'll grow into big trees, and not even like a split of second, but they'll also start having fruits. Okay, fully ripe mango fruits. Imagine, okay, and these fruits, okay, normally the mango is like this size, right? But these mangoes were 5 times bigger, and the mangoes didn't have any seed inside them. Mangoes have seed, right, inside them, and it also has a peel, right? We have a mango peel. So these fruits didn't have peel, or it didn't have seeds, okay. It was like pure pulp, and it was so like delicious, and the fruits were just the best things ever had by the people. So the devotees ate the fruits and they were fully satisfied, and even Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was very happy. Okay, so till now, what did we learn so far? Because it's a half-an-hour session, we're going to have small snippets. Okay, so this was basically the Balya Leelas. Okay, we saw all the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, who was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's parents, right? And how did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear? Because of Advaita Acharya's prayers to whom? Advaita Acharya prayed to?
Shaligram.
Correct, Shaligram. Okay, and he was the incarnation of
Mahavishnu.
Correct. Okay. So because of them, he had come, right? And he had appeared. And his parents were?
Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra.
Very good. And they resided where? Navadvip. Yeah. And it was in West Bengal. In today's time, it's called Mayapur. Okay. But it is actually called Navadvip. Okay. And then what happened? He had before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how many kids did Sachi Devi and Jagannath have?
9.
9. Okay. And out of which, how many were daughters and how many were sons?
1 was son and 8 were daughters.
What was the name of the son?
Vishwarup.
Okay, and then we discussed about the first pastime of footprints. Okay, how they saw the footprints on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's 4 feet. And what were the 5 symbols on the feet?
Flag, thunderbolt, conch shell,
Chakra, and fish. Correct. Very good. Okay. And then we saw the story of the 2 thieves, right? 2 thieves who tried to steal Mahaprabhu, but they couldn't. Okay. And then we saw the story of the golden coins, right? How the mud turned into golden coins. And then we saw how he was the master of knowledge, and he was called the boy genius of Nadia. Okay. Or Navadvip. Okay. And then who did he meet? Which scholar did he meet?
Keshav Pandit.
Yeah, and Keshav Pandit, he was put to test in what? Like, what did he have to recite?
He had to recite Sanskrit shlokas related to Ganga Devi.
Yeah, so praising Ganga Devi, he had to sing 1,000, like he started, compiling 100 verses on the spot. Okay, he was that knowledgeable. Okay, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pointed out, and Keshav Pandit, what did happen? He accepted his defeat, and then in the night he got a dream. And who came in the dream?
Goddess Saraswati.
Yes. Correct. And then he became the follower and disciple. Okay, and at the end we saw that Gauranga's father had passed away, and he got married first to who?
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi Devi, correct. And Lakshmi Devi's father was?
Vallabhacharya.
And Gauranga's second wife was?
Vishnupriya.
Yeah, now, okay. Now I'm going to ask a little bit tough question. Okay, which year did Lord Lord Krishna appear? Okay. For
1986.
1986.
the first Lord Krishna entered 14?
86.
1485 he appeared. Okay. Yeah, 1486 Lord Chaitanya was born. Okay. Which date was it? It was February
18th.
18th. Very good. So he was born on February 18th, 1486. Okay. A year before that, Lord Krishna had appeared in the body of Jagannath Mishra. Okay. And then, so he passed on from heart to Sachi Devi's heart. Okay. And how many months was Lord Chaitanya in the womb of Sachi Devi?
13.
13 months. Very good, very good. Okay. So similarly, we will have 3 more sessions. Okay. Today was an introduction session of the childhood pastimes and a bit of his youth till his father's passing away. But there are more. Okay. Like how he takes sannyasam and how he leaves and how he goes on this huge yatra and you know how he gets the Sankirtan moment. And we're going to talk about all the Panchatattvas and all the places he had visited. Okay. So any doubts so far?
No.
All clear? All easy? You're able to understand?
Yes.
Because the stories are a bit different from what we normally hear from Bhagavatam and everything. Okay. So there are more names.
Yeah.
So from next time, all of you make sure you have a notebook and a pen. Okay. We'll keep revising all this because it's only 30-minute session. It's short. Okay. Any doubts, you can always message in the group. Any particular story you want to hear about Gauranga also, we can take it up. Okay. And why are we doing this Gauranga series?
Because Gaura Punyama.
Yeah, correct. We're going to have Gaura Purnima. When is Gaura Purnima?
15.
14.
14th.
14.
14th is Gaura Purnima. Okay. So before that, we have to know something about Lord Chaitanya before we go and see him on Gaura Purnima, right? So that's why we are doing this. Okay?
Gaura Purnima is in Holi.
Yeah, correct. Actually, Gaura Purnima and Holi is on the same day. Okay, a day before Gaura Purnima is called Holika Dahan. Okay, so that is where in all the ISKCON temples we have a huge bonfire. Okay, with everything, and they all come under, and we all do some small puja and we read it. And the next day is Holi. Okay, and we are going to celebrate it as Gaura Purnima. Okay. So before that, all of us should know at least something about Gauranga, right? So that we know what Mahaprabhu has done for us. Okay. Well, if there is no doubts, can we end the session?
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, just wanted to check if you will be sharing the recordings or not.
Yes, Mataji, we will be sharing the recordings, Mataji.
Sure,
It will
Mataji.
be
Thank
posted
you.
in both the, I think, the tasks group and in the Amazing Bhagavatam story group, both the groups.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I'm so sorry, someone had asked if I can speak in Hindi. This class is only going to be in English, yeah? So please do bear with me for that. Okay then, if there's no doubts, we can end the session?
Yes.
Okay. Panchakalpatarupesya kripasampadevach patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavind ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki
Jai.
all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
See you all tomorrow again, okay? 8 to 8:30.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I just request all the kids to maybe switch on your videos if possible in the next session, okay? That will be more interactive, yeah? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.